was a terrorist attack.
Really? Yeah,
In Paris again. Apparently
Paris.
the guy drove a truck through a bunch of people.
Drove a truck through a bunch of people, damn.
And then hopped out of it and started shooting up some dudes.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy.
I started getting back into Adventure Time.
Oh god, that show.
Yes, shut up.
I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying, meh. I prefer regular show. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, a show that I think is hands down better than Adventure Time, though, no matter what you say, is Ruby. I adore Ruby. That show is awesome.
Well, of course you are. You're a weeboo.
Yeah. But
cartoon do you like? Not anime.
Well, technically, people debate if Ruby's an anime or not.
It's an anime.
No, because anime defines Japanese animation. Rooster Teeth is not Japanese animation. They are Americans that are mimicking Japanese style. You could say the same thing about Teen Titans. Is it an anime or is it not? Since it was made in a studio here, it's not anime. It's that simple. But
it doesn't have to be from Japan to be an anime.
Yes it does. You know what anime actually stands for? It stands for. It's literally the word that they adapted to mean Japanese.
Animation?
No, that used to be the title for it, but then it became anime to make it simpler. But yeah.
Okay. Like that's from a mainstream channel.
Alright.
What do you like?
Mainstream channel.
Not
I really love regular show.
Why do you like that?
Because you think about it, in a couple of years, that'll most likely be me. Doing the stupid
Or
shit.
it might be outdated.
What?
Infestation
No.
positive identification of one.
Yeah, there are a lot of them that are outdated, but you could still do the shit that Mordecai and Rigby do, because that's what the creators pretty much based it on college kids when he was in college and shit. So in a couple years, I'll probably be doing the same shit, working at a crappy job, making crappy pay. So yeah, I relate to that a lot more than regular show, because let's go on an adventure. Adventure never happens to normal people. It's just a known fact, it doesn't happen. And I'm really more into stories grounded in reality. Still there? Still there? Good damn. Yep, the call dropped. Terrific. And sorry for the ear rape, guys. It's just redialing. Yeah, sorry for the ear rape. Yeah, the call dropped for some weird ass reason.
Need some more ammo.
Because I watched the original clip for it, and the voice actors were on it.
Subject's location. It's currently
Or another show that I adore more than.
It's about these two guys.
Why do you always have to screw everything up?
It's kind of about these two guys in the 7-Eleven place on their job. Except one guy, he got Halloween candy and he laced it with acid.
Aim and shoot it.
Oh my god, that's genius.
And then they started hallucinating, and the one guy saw the other guy as a pinball machine. So that's how we got the character design for
Benson. That's actually really funny. That's pretty funny. Or another show that I actually like more than most kids' cartoons is South Park. I feel like that is a cartoon. It's a cartoon. It's animation, which makes it a cartoon. And technically, a kid could.
I like speaking in verse.
I really don't like most of the mainstream cartoons from Cartoon Network. I mean, I'm kind of mad to all of them.
Why?
Because it's like, let's make it bright and colorful and beautiful for kids, hiding any aspect of a dark story.
Clarence has a pretty dark story subtext.
What? Clarence? Clarence is basically, let's make a show about a retard.
No. Oh, you act
What?
seriously, there's like really dark stuff going on in the back.
Like, maybe, I'm watching it, and it's about a retard with weird friends.
But seriously, okay. Jeff comes from a very, like, what looks to be a bad home. Possibly an abusive family.
You mean the kid that's, like, clear-cut and nice-looking?
No, I meant,
Sumo.
Bring
You
it
meant
on,
Sumo, the
freak.
bald
no,
kid.
guy. Sumo.
Yeah, Sumo, the bald kid.
No, that's actually a woman.
No, that's a dad.
It's a woman.
It's a dad. I swear to God. It's a dad, I swear to God.
Bring on the
It's a woman.
dogs.
He look okay, that doesn't make any sense in the logic of the series.
You realize that like they had short hair.
Okay, but that's a separate that's kind of a separate thing. That's more likely, man, because two lesbians cannot have a kid. Physically impossible.
Ammunition on the
Physically impossible.
Well, not unless they get some
Uh,
DNA from it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only way, but pretty much for them to make a kid by themselves is physically impossible.
Dexter down the closet.
But anyway, I'm just kind of mad to most of the kids' cartoons because I prefer dark storytelling, like epic or dark storytelling,
Of course you do.
because it literally makes the story a lot better, depending on how dark it gets. Like, as an example, I got really bored last night and thought, let me go look up the Brothers Grimm version of some of the fairy tales, and Little Red Riding Hood is much better in the darker context. It's not as cut and dry. Wolf is bad.
I mean, sometimes, like, people want to escape the bad parts of reality and go to, like, something that's good and innocent.
But it's like that's fine. But when you start destroying fairy tales that were originally dark, stories that were originally meant to be dark, then you're kind of crossing the line.
They're doing that so they can market off of it.
That's kind I don't know if you remember, there was a live-action Hansel and Gretel movie that followed the kitty-fied bullshit fairy tale and was not half as good as a story that would cover the entire normal fairy tale. Like it cuts the whole shove the witch into the oven thing for a more favorable the kids just. Doesn't that seem anticlimactic?
Okay.
Well, that seems really anticlimactic.
Okay, let me tell you something. In the original
Really, most of the fairy tales were mostly told to spook kids. Were mostly told to mess with kids. Like, as an example, you really know where Slender Man came from?
to give them morals, not to mess with them.
Okay, but like, Little Red Riding Hood, its moral was, don't walk in the woods by yourself. Another one is, The Little Mermaid is, bitches be crazy. And then if you actually look into the original Cinderella story, that moral was, be an asshole, you get what's coming to you in the end. So really, that's kind of the thing.
Wait,
Then what?
Didn't in the original, like, the stepsisters cut off part of their feet so
Yes.
they could shoot?
Yes, and and the stepmother dies at the end. I forget exactly how, but she.
That to be in a kid-friendly version?
That would the feet thing not, but I really wish they could have left the whole stepmother being alluded to being killed or dead or something.
You know?
Because Disney did do dark stories, like Bambi.
Dude, you know what you sound like right now?
What?
You sound like that one guy on YouTube I saw who's doing a review of the first episode with Bad Seeds in it. And
Yeah.
he said, I was expecting there to be blood, guts, murder, maybe,
Well, no, that's pretty much meant to be a down-to-earth kids show, MLP.
Exactly, so there's a bunch of other stuff.
But Disney was, but they didn't need to fuck the entire fairy tales up. It's like, Alice in Wonderland was based on was based on a really good book. Was based on 2 really good books, but they messed them up. They took out characters, they left out content, and they just butchered the shit out of it. That's why everyone hates the Tim Burton version so much, because they never read the original books, which actually gave you context for that movie.
Or because everybody's getting tired of Tim Burton and his emo style.
The thing is, he does make really good movies when he tries. Edward Scissorhands is a freaking masterpiece. What? Yeah, it's been started for a while now. But no, Tim Burton, he does make really good movies. Edward Scissorhands, amazing movie.
Okay, really the only couple...
And plus, Tim Burton's just an awesome director. He's much better than Michael Bay.
Okay, really the only things I liked from him was Sweeney Todd and Nightmare Before Christmas.
That has emo style written all over it, Nightmare Before Christmas. So
Sweeney Todd, I like as a gothic version of
Max ammo, max
theater,
killing.
okay? It's a gothic version of theater, which I appreciate. I appreciate the gothic side. Well, of course, I like the other one because of nostalgic purposes, not because of the emo demographic.
Down, we got a crawler.
plus, honestly, he does make the movies are very good. What he comes out with, like comparing him to Michael Bay, I think Michael Bay is a bigger plague.
Everybody hates Michael Bay, dude.
Yeah, he's pretty much the vermin of the movie world. He kind of pisses me off with how he works with movies.
Isn't like I'm just saying that Tim Burton isn't like Alfred Hitchcock or Kubrick.
Kubrick is overrated as fuck sometimes.
What?
Like, realistically, his movies aren't that good.
They aren't good. Okay.
Like the one that I hear the most praise for, but seems to deserve it the most, is Clockwork. But that gets overshadowed by like 2001: A Space Odyssey and shit, which doesn't make any goddamn sense because in reality, the only one that actually dissected a character was Clockwork Orange.
What?
The whole dissection of the main character in Clockwork Orange, that's the only movie where he does that. And the only movie where it actually really shows that he tried.
Have you even seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
It's such a dumb movie. Let's base a movie in space and have a computer go nuts.
It's more than that. It's like a deep journey to man's history. It's like a bunch of different aspects.
Okay, but let me take an angle that people around me have taken before. I do not like doing digging for a story. I like having the story laid there.
That's because you're lazy.
No, that's a perspective that most people have. I dig through stories, but that's something I've heard people tell me about that movie before. They do not like digging for those stories. They prefer having those laid out.
Well, I love having to dig deep into
So do I. So do I. That's why I'm kind of okay with Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, dude, Five Nights at Freddy's is just so obvious. There's no secrets whatsoever.
Or another story that I'm trying to think of. Really, if you go back to Avatar, that even had story that you had to dig for. It wasn't kind of.
Five Nights at Freddy's is as deep as a kiddie pool.
No, that would actually imply there's water. It's
There's
as deep as
water,
it.
but like there's barely anything there to like uncover, do anything about. Seriously.
That's about as the water is about as deep as an inch of just an inch of water. No. It's probably like it's half an inch. It's half an inch. That's about all you can muster with Five Nights at Freddy's.
You're not good at metaphors.
Yeah, not really. Not really. And another thing I prefer to critique more than movies is music, really. Music. Music is just much better to critique because that's less of a visual medium and more of a just straight audio medium.
Well,
I love that more overall.
Background system, my dad's a musician, and I listen to a lot of it.
Like, I honestly...
But for you, anything that isn't emo music is horrible.
No, honestly, I listen to a lot of country.
Oh.
My sister...
The only country artist I listen to is Brad Paisley.
Like, my sister listens to a lot of country music. Like, Kenny Chesney used to be one of my favorites, but it's just kind of meh now. Like, I do not particularly care. Thing.
Slow jam.
Slow jams are not my thing. I prefer loud, ridiculously loud and crazy.
Okay, I sent you something with electric guitar in it.
Okay. Okay, let me tell you a band I listen to that is ridiculous and bases what I like to listen to. Escape the Fate. It's basically screams the entire way through the songs. That is what I prefer to listen to. If you give me something that's constant screaming, or very loud rebellious type lyrics, I will listen to that all day. Like,
of course.
I love those. Like, that's why I also like Fall Out Boy so much. They literally don't care. Don't care. What? It's lagging.
You realize that Fall Out Boy has become super mainstream, along with Linkin Park, My Chemical Romance, people like that.
Okay, but you want to know what? It doesn't make the music any less meaningful. Like as an example piece, if you were to listen to the song "Numb" by Linkin Park, you would kind of feel, if you had that pressure from somebody older than you, that was basically like you were stepping into their shoes and following in their footsteps. It doesn't make it any less impactful. The New Divide doesn't become less about courage because it's mainstream. And literally the anthem for Not Giving a Shit is the best thing that Fall Out Boy has ever made. I Don't Care is one of the best songs ever made. Because
wouldn't say that.
like literally it's probably the best song, one of the top 5 best songs I've ever heard.
Mission accomplished.
Because it literally, I could play that every time I walk into a room, and it would accurately describe how I think. I really don't care if you like me or not. Like,
I have 2 separate styles of music, but I did find this one really weird band, but I really like it. They're called Lake, all cap. No wonder
That's cool.
I really like it.
That's cool.
It doesn't have like a specific genre, but it sounds really cool.
You see, that's kind of where I don't like too much music that doesn't have defined styles. Like, if a band doesn't...
That means that they're not bound to a certain thing that they have to do.
It's another reason why I prefer bands' early works over what they produce today, because, as an example, you said Linkin Park became really mainstream. That's true, but that only really happened from 2008 and onward. So if anything before that came out, those are probably the best songs. Because they became really too soft and not screamy enough for me. Like, they don't scream anymore. Every song they do now is really light and really annoying. And My Chemical Romance, I really don't like it that much. And My Chemical Romance, most people don't really like them. But I like a couple songs, but that's really only because I like the story the songs tell. That's mostly what I'm about. How the songs tell the stories.
What have I done?
Usually I like listening to the lyrics, but I don't like to think that's the whole part. The whole.
No, I get that. I take the story first. Like, I like to think about the story first, and then listen, and as I'm thinking about the story, listen to the song.
I like to listen to it collectively, because if something has good lyrics but bad, like, rhythm and stuff, then I'll call it out for that, but if there's, like, good rhythm and bad, then...
Like, that's the thing. I prefer the storytelling of songs to movies, because they have much less time to do it, so they have to develop what they're telling you quickly. It's not like my favorite songs are just kind of story-driven songs.
Like ballads?
As an example, one of my favorite songs from when I was younger is "I'm Just a Kid" by Simple Plan. It's telling about this kid who's basically not very popular, and pretty much gets to spend all summer alone, and he's just like telling you this. No, he tells you. No, he basically says, he just is basically, what's it matter when you're spending every night on your own? It goes, what's another night all alone when you're spending every day on your own? And I'm just a kid, and life is a nightmare. I'm just a kid, I know that it's not fair. That's literally
So pandering.
Well, it's damn near true.
I don't like stuff that panders to their audiences. I like stuff that does its own thing.
Okay, but you want to know what? It doesn't make it any less true because I spend pretty much every day on my own. I don't really have that. I really don't do that much. So in reality, it is true. There are stories like that. And it really does help you get through the day when you have something to relate to. And I'm sure as shit there's a lot of songs that you listen to that you relate to, and that's the only reason you like them.
Not really. I just like listening to the songs because I like listening to songs.
Well,
I haven't found anything to be honest.
Like, literally, I will find, you give me any band that's not slow jams and mostly love songs in their thing, I will probably find one song that I like. I actually really dislike the band I really dislike the band Aerosmith, but Walk This Way is one of my favorite songs. Like, not in my top 10 or anything, but in my top 50. You still there? Or is it cut out again? Damn it. Are you still there? God damn it.
All will fall before me.
Alright, we're back. Sorry for the ear rape again, guys. Doing this over phone is kind of a bitch. Hey, it cut out again.
I do relate to a couple songs.
Like, realistically, you have to relate to something. That's why you have to like it. You just said it. You just.
Two songs I relate to. One's called "I Was Here," and the second one's "Piano Man" by Billy Joel.
Oh my god, I used to like Billy Joel. Now I'm just kind of fucking indifferent. I really can't stomach listening to music anymore.
I relate a lot to Piano Man, but I don't know why.
Like, like, the song that I relate to the most probably goes to, it probably goes to I Fooled You by Awaken the Giants. It's probably the song that means the most. Because it's like, it does tell the story of a guy that just tried his hardest and everybody just kind of messes with him. And just pisses him off. Like, that's one of the songs that I just love to death because it's damn near true. You'll find stuff like that. Yeah.
I can't explain why, but I feel related. I just kind of close.
Yeah, like, oh my god. Have you ever gotten so tired of a song that you don't want to listen to it for a while? Like I've gotten to the point with Billy Joel where I just can't listen to his music for right now. On the way back from Florida, my family's trip to Florida or whatever, my brother blared that in his car the entire way home. And I just got so tired of it, I'm just like, God no. God, like whenever it comes up on my iPod, I'm just like, nope, we're not doing that.
I guess, like, I relate to songs that talk about wanting more out of life.
Well, one of the songs that's actually one of the song thing I relate to a lot too, because there's this band that I listen to called Sick Puppies. They basically do a lot of those type of songs too. Like Maybe is probably a really good song to listen to if you think about that. But it does have a more whiny edge to it, which can turn people off of it. Oh, but do you want to hear a really funny story about that kind of stuff? About music? Okay, you know how I pretty much listen to a lot of emo crap? You still there? You still there? God damn.
Yeah.
Alright, the funny story about it is, I made a CD to go in my mom's car with on the way down to Florida or whatever. I put a little bit of emo music on it, and on the way back I rode in the car, and she's listening to a couple of the emo songs, which is really funny, and singing along to them, which is really funny to me because it's just like amazingly hilarious. Like my absolute favorite song ever. It's an anti-suicide message, so she's singing along to that.
There's one anti-suicide message I like.
Yeah.
The Jumper.
What? It kind of cut out a second.
Alright. Tell me if you heard this one. It's like
Show no fear.
something like. All the lies that you used to live. Didn't want to see me again. I would understand.
I think I've heard it before, I just haven't listened to the whole song.
There was a time I relished the opportunity to kill the hordes. No longer.
See, you do like some emo quality stuff.
Well,
That's a lot of what the emo music is. Anti-suicide messages hidden in music.
hold on 1 second.
Oh god.
Don't kill yourself.
What the hell is wrong with you? Yeah, I'm kind of questioning what's wrong with you right now. Cause you kind of sound like an insensitive asshole right now. Yeah, the stream can hear you.
I heard it. I thought it was funny.
That is funny, but it's also kind of dumb. Kind of dumb.
There is a song about killing yourself.
Oh my god. Like, there's this anime thing I want to send you later that's really funny. It's a parody of Rock You Like a Hurricane. It's hilarious. It's literally this guy telling this other guy, "This is the stronger version of my powers. So I'm gonna kill you. So I'm gonna kill you with this." He's so dumb. That's so funny. Oh, but do you want to hear the dumbest thing about that, though? The suicide thing? I was watching a Family Guy episode. I think it's called Brian is the Worst Dad. Peter asks Lois, "How do you cut your wrists?" And Meg replies with, long ways for attention, sideways for results.
It's true.
It is, but it's still fucking dark and ridiculous. You don't fucking broadcast how to kill yourself on live TV. That's stupid. On TV, that's really stupid. It'd be like me going and making a YouTube video and being like, "Here's how you do this." Yeah. Because really you want to do that.
How can something so beneficial to my parents taste so bad?
I just feel like that was the dumbest thing possible.
I'm pretty sure it's just a joke.
It's a joke, but it's still dumb, okay? Okay, you can't make a joke about something that serious. It's like you can't.
Everybody does.
You can't make a joke that dark. It's like a 9/11 joke. You can't make them. They are not allowed to be made. Like, it is physically pretty much, you are a dick if you make that type of joke.
Transgenders, gays, everybody. Nobody's safe.
Well,
And if you can't handle it, then you gotta just grow skin.
I don't really... I'm not one for making fun of people or being made fun of. I don't really like it. Because it's really taking you down a peg and pretending like...
Being made fun of.
I actually can't stand it when it's like, you're being taken down a peg for nothing. I could see if you're the biggest asshole in the world, but you're being taken down a peg for being an okay person.
Well, I mean, like, if you're one of those kind of, like, I mean, there are some people who
deserve it.
For obvious reasons. Like, have you ever seen those people on DeviantArt?
I don't use DeviantArt. It's breaking up, so wait a second. Try it now.
Yeah, but there's people who draw nasty stuff on DeviantArt, like ponies and diapers or boars and stuff.
That's awesomely genius.
Those people get made fun of a lot. And guess what? They're totally serious about their art.
Yep. Like, it's also another thing that you know what kind of makes me really sad? Okay, you know the mainstream creepypastas, how a lot of them are on troll pasta now. That really saddens me because you realize when they were first made, those people put a lot of work into their stories. So it really does piss me off when I see Jeff the Killer on troll pasta.
It's kind of funny for me.
It's like you take something that imagine taking Adventure Time, and it was a show that was was pretty much beautiful when it came out and everything, and then people say, put it on retard.com. That would kind of piss you off, wouldn't it?
No, it'd be funny.
No, it wouldn't. It would just be like insulting a story you like.
I think it's funny.
Well, you, my friend, are messed up. Because would you really want your story to be put on trollpasta.com? I don't think so.
To be honest, I feel like humor is really the only thing that lets me wake up in the morning. That's the only, like, humor, jokes, that kind of stuff.
Loud ass obnoxious music helps me get up.
Comedy helps me get up.
Like, the thing is that I really hate YouTube's policies right now. I would be playing music right now if it wasn't for copyright bullshit.
You know, you can look up non-copyrighted music, right?
But that's dumb, okay? That's dumb. I would want actual lyrics because most uncopyrighted music don't have lyrics.
Exactly. It's only for background music, dude.
Which is I just don't like it. Don't like doing that. I put background music in it, in stuff. Alright. What are you playing?
Well, I found my original GPS, because my other one broke, and I found Pokemon Black. Right there.
Oh my god, Pokemon Black. You wanna know what's funny? That's actually... This Black and White 2 is actually my favorite Pokemon game. Because it's much better balanced than Black and White 1.
I like Silver better.
Oh, Soul Silver is still fun, but I really like Black and White 2.
That was actually my first ever Pokemon game.
I was actually doing the stupid style run that I was planning on, where it's basically you choose the weakest Pokemon you can find and raise those. That was kind of a shitty run, and I stopped after about the 6th gym. If you try and Nuzlocke that game, it's ridiculous. Nuzlocking Heart Gold and Soul Silver is crazy.
Now I'm going to play Nintendogs because it was also the second game I ever got.
Nintendogs. Oh my god.
Yes.
I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at how crappy those games are. Oh my god, you could write a creepypasta based on that. I found my old games. They started to attack me in my nightmares. Yeah. Watch there be like a message from one of your dogs like, "You left us here. Now you must die."
That'd be so funny.
Oh my god, it would be hilarious. Oh my god, it would be hilarious. Alright. Alright. So, here's a very interesting thing about the media right now that I'm kind of starting to get pissed off about. The one thing I hate about mainstream media is whenever they cover video games or whatever, in any light, it's always the bad light, the negative one. Like, they're not talking about how Pokemon Go is impacting people by getting them out of the house. They're talking about how kids are getting kidnapped and shit from Pokemon Go. Because dare say they want to keep video games a scapegoat as long as they can.
I know.
Which
So stupid.
I want to just scream because they've done this so many times before. First it was music, then it was Hollywood movies. Now it's video games.
I know, it's so stupid.
Like, watch when VR becomes bigger, them make VR into this demonized thing. And that's what built my philosophy of, if it doesn't hurt people, let people do what the hell they want. That's what built my philosophy of it. And it's like, old people do not seem to get this concept of that's the worst case scenarios.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, man, fuck the media.
Exactly.
Because if you're gonna paint video games in a constant bad light, screw you guys. Video games is what keeps our generation from freaking going out and being nuts.
Yeah, the media, is trying to manipulate the situation, trying to demonize something that, makes is therapeutic to a person. Like video games or music.
Oh, but it's even funnier because it's like, they don't seem to get that video games, for how much people bitch and complain that we need to go outside and shit, it keeps us from doing drugs, it keeps us from doing illegal shit, it keeps us from getting in trouble with cops, and it keeps us pretty much happy. So I don't see a problem with it if they're, and that's my problem. This guy that I watch on a regular basis, he put it the best. The news does not want you playing video games because you could be watching the news and making them money. So, by painting video games in a bad light, it's trying to taint video games so parents won't buy their kids video games.
Exactly.
And I'm just like...
Both my puppies awesome sunglasses.
And you want to know what I'm going to say to that when I have kids? I'm going to be like, here kids, here's video games. Have fun with them. Enjoy them. Like, I'm not going to deal with the media. Like, that's why I've completely stopped watching TV.
Like my 5-year-old Grand Theft Auto 5.
No, I wouldn't. I would wait until they're like 9 and 10 to give them that. But like, Pokemon... I honestly don't care. I would give them a 10.
I mean, the effects that some of those games do on people, but like...
And another thing that the news does not seem to understand about video games is, there have been studies done over a decade, conducted over a decade-long studies, that have proven that video games have no negative effects on people.
Report. Dimensional insertion point was off.
Like, it's been a proven thing now.
Often interrupted established continuity. What happens
But people
next
still
is
refuse to accept it.
uncertain. Allied operatives MIA. I have no
You're still
choice
there.
but to continue the mission alone.
Yeah, I'm still here.
I don't really get why the news still likes to demonize it. And it's like, it really does piss me off when they do that. It's like, I was watching the year when Call of Duty Black Ops came out. My grandmother was so appalled that so many people were outside on a school night waiting for it.
Really?
Oh my god, you should have seen her face. She was like, she had this look of absolute horror on her face because, well, Call of Duty is nothing but violence. But in reality, which do you think helps more and keeps you safer? Playing Call of Duty where you shoot things in the face, or going outside and actually shooting things in the face? Which keeps you from getting illegal? Which one keeps you not in jail? Shooting things in the face on Call of Duty, right?
Exactly.
Like, I play zombies for therapeutic reasons and shit. Because you mow down zombies as you're playing. And that I find amazing. So I'm just like, old people don't really understand it yet. Oh, and Grand Theft Auto, I really don't see a problem with it. It's a game where you do what you want, with no consequences. How is that a problem for anything?
Right.
Alright, but like, the game I will never understand people bitching and complain about is Minecraft. Like, I get the whole pedophile community in Minecraft, the YouTube community anyway. I get that's a bad thing, but people will bitch and complain that their kids play Minecraft for too long.
Well, yeah, because Minecraft is Minecraft.
Well, you really can't go outside and build a castle in your front yard anywhere else. And that's what stimulates the imagination that so many parents believe we lack.
Having failed to secure the intel.
It's lagging, so wait a second.
It's currently unknown.
Damn it, Richtofen.
Why do you always have to screw
Alright,
everything up?
what exactly were you gonna say?
I don't know. I was just rambling.
I mean, like, that and I don't know if you know what the Uncharted games are or not. They're pretty much adventure...
I want my fucking bonbons.
Anyway, I was getting the whole trilogy for PlayStation 3 so I could play them before I got the PS4 port a couple years ago, so before I even had my PlayStation 4. My grandmother, I went to her and I was like, hey, can I get this? It's $20 instead of a PSN card. She's like, all I see is violence there. I would gladly buy you a video game, but not violence. And the cover was just the main character standing with a gun in front of a crashed plane in the desert. How is that violence?
I guess anything with guns is violent.
It's like, that really does make me really pissed off when people are like, violence does this, this, and this. Realistically, we live in the most violent world. There was a couple years ago, a guy died for a PS4 because he was selling a PS4 on Craigslist. How violent does that tell you America is? Or the whole world is, anyway. Anyway, you look throughout history. We live in a violent world. So I'm like,
people think that games are like the root of all violence, but really, Hitler play.
Yeah, it's like crazy that people believe this shit. You still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do not understand why people get the idea video games are evil for no reason.
Same.
Like a famous example that makes no sense today is the Columbine shooting. They basically said that the kids played Doom before they did it and built a thing of their school. But realistically, you want to know what came out later? One of the kids never even played Doom. So it doesn't make any sense. He just kind of did it to go along with his friend. So it realistically debunks the whole period of oh well, they play video games, which makes them violent.
That is kind of stupid.
And many of the people that are violent is because they have an underlying anger issue. That's more or less what makes people violent. The fact that everyone has anger issues and no one lets up. But like, and that's what the news doesn't seem to get. They never look into the background of these people that they tell about. Whenever they show off video games or whatever, or people that played video games and did shootings and shit, they never go back and think, well, maybe this guy had a mental illness or not. They're just like, no, it was video games. We need to make that extra figure, so we're gonna demonize video games so people don't play them while the news is on. And then the news can run out of shit to say, so it's basically rerun the same crap. So more people get fed into the lies that they tell. Yeah. And I tried to bring this up one day, and I'm like, you know, Fox really only ever wants you to play video games, doesn't want you to play video games because of they want the extra figure that you would make. My grandparents and my parents were like, no, they have never said that, but it's implied throughout what they've done, how they've demonized gaming over the last 10 years.
Well, Fox is like flipping.
I really don't care for Fox people. It's like, hey, you guys are stuck watching us and shit. Honestly, I kind of prefer social media to get news from, because at least there it's balanced. Or at least more balanced than the other.
Don't tell me you're watching me, son.
Oh, hell no. He does. I've only ever watched one drama alert. And that was the Angry Grandpa Show drama alert. I don't really like Keemstar too much. He's kind of a dick. But realistically, it's like, I prefer YouTubers for news. Just because they at least kind of they at least can see both sides of the spectrum. Because they're not all in it for money, like Fox is. It's like another reason why one of the most famous like The Simpsons, one of the most famous animated shows ever, they never wanted to end because of that figure. When every single fan you ask says it needs to end. And Family Guy will probably get the same treatment because they want that figure. Even though Family Guy is starting to go downhill. Like, they're starting to peak at that point where you're like, okay, enough with this. Like, at least I'm getting to the point where I prefer their references to the older stuff more than the newer stuff. Because a lot of the newer pop culture references they pull are not as funny as the older ones.
They really aren't.
Like, our modern pop culture really sucks. Like, I cannot think of one funny thing that's happened in the last, 3 or 4 years that's funny enough to make a skit out of.
They really all went downhill.
Like, South Park is probably the only one that can pull off the whole pop culture reference thing now because they know what to make into pop culture reference and what not to.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, one of my favorite things that they've ever done making fun of is Scientologists. I think it's...
The Chin Pokemon one.
I think that's awful. Oh, but do you want to hear something funny about that? Guess what that means in Japanese?
What?
Penis monster. It literally translates to penis monster. I thought that was hilarious. Like, that just kind of paints the episode in a much funnier light, even though the episode itself is not very funny. Or, but yeah, the Scientologist thing, when they've made fun of the Scientologists, I love that. Because realistically, Scientologists are stupid. Okay, their views are stupid. I may be an agnostic, but I can see a stupid view when I see one. It's like, I'm not even gonna get into it, but like, their views are stupid. Really, really stupid. Stupid, it's like, because, what did you say? What time is it? It's like 8 something? 8:43? Okay, like, one thing that I think is kind of... Most religions are open to the fact that you can like mythology, but Scientologists pretty much say, oh, none of that matters, pretty much don't believe in it, don't even look into it. When mythology is probably one of the most fascinating things this world has to offer.
Right.
Like, if you look, like, you could build an entire 60 years of stories out of just Greek mythology. I think my favorite legend of all Greek mythology is Poseidon's. I really like Poseidon's story, and I like
the Homer's Odyssey. That's like one of my favorite Greek stories.
The story that I think is probably the best in terms of mythology ever, which you can kind of argue this is more religious mythology or not, but honestly, I really do like Dante's Inferno, the Divine Comedy. I really like its depiction of everything. Like if you get to choose what your heaven, hell, and purgatory look like, I think I would take the ones out of the Inferno. But like,
have them all look the same.
What?
I would have them all look the same.
Why?
That'd be funny.
No, it wouldn't. I would have hell look like the place where I grew up, or hell look like the place where I hate the most. Purgatory look like an office building with cubicles everywhere and people forced to be typing away at a office report for the rest of eternity. And I would have heaven a place where all your fantasies come true. Like, that would be heaven for me. Be like, anything you want to happen, you can make happen.
Let me think. My hell would be having to listen to Justin Bieber in a room the rest of my life.
You mean the rest of eternity?
Purgatory would be a rainbow void, like literally you're floating in a bunch of rainbows. And heaven inside of the TARDIS, and I can travel throughout space.
That'd be cool. But you want to know what my hell would probably be if I could choose one? I would have it be a black void.
A what?
A black void where nothing exists but you. I feel like that would probably be best. Awesome. And it's lagging again, so give it a sec. Try now.
I said a trippy rainbow void would be awesome.
For purgatory maybe, but for hell I want a black void. Because I really am a thinker. I prefer to think. I don't really like talking to people that much.
The future is...
Oh, do you want to hear a stupid story that happened to me over the last 2 weeks? My grandma was like, "Hey, can you come get this food out of this place for me? Because I can't get up the curb anymore." I'm like, yeah. I'm thinking, okay, we'll call and order it on my phone, so I don't have to go in and deal with these people. And she's like, no, you're gonna go in and order it. And I'm like, no, I'm not, because guess what these people are, and guess why I don't want to go in. They are Greek, and I cannot understand Greek for shit. I do not understand their accent for shit. I cannot understand Greeks for love nor money. No! They're really hard to deal with, so I avoid going in like the plague. I order on the phone to get my food. Yeah.
On my phone.
What? Oh.
Yeah, car deal from LA called my phone.
Oh my god. That's funny. That's really funny.
That's awesome. And all of a sudden, my phone just starts ringing. I check it, and it's like this weird phone number from LA, right? So I pick it up, and it's like okay. So
I do the
pick it up,
dissections
and
around here.
it's this like voice recording, right? And I was like, it was like, if you wish to speak with the real representative, please press blah blah blah. So I pressed it.
Oh my god.
I pressed it just to like tell them not to come.
I do not do
So
this for
like
money.
I
I do it for...
they picked up and they were like, hello, and I was like, hey, you
Good. What have I
called
done?
the wrong number.
Stop it, Edward.
That's funny.
And I'm like, no, I just came to call and tell you that you got the wrong number.
This is what you have to do.
He was like,
Even if
okay,
it doesn't work
what's
every time.
your name? And I was
And
like,
every time.
Sarah, but I just want you
How
to
am I meant to work when all's around me? I am beset by the voices
You
of
could have just blocked them, you know.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna hang up now.
You could have just blocked the number and not said anything.
me, minion?
Seriously, that's what I would have done.
All will fall before me.
I just didn't want them calling back.
You could have blocked the number, which stops that. Seriously, it's as simple as going into your phone, checking the past call thing, and blocking the number. I've done it to people before.
Glorious in battle.
Like, I got super pissed at my sister one time, so I blocked a number for 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't get a word from her for 2 weeks because I left it blocked. I got it over it in a week, but I still had her number blocked for 2. What did I do, or what did she do? I forget what exactly started it, but yeah, I had it blocked for like 2 weeks.
Harley game from Activision.
Oh my god. Activision is one of those developers for games that I just can't stand anymore. They've just kind of put out crap after crap after crap. Call of Duty is even going to crap.
I think they make mediocre games. Like,
I actually like the Call of Duty series, but I can understand it's getting stale. Like, for how much I play Black Ops and stuff, I really play for the zombie mode. But like, that's realistically what I think.
Nothing could withstand such a blast.
But like, they make some shitty ass games now. Oh, but you wanna hear something stupid they did? Activision? They bought the people that made Candy Crush for $1 million. I don't know. Because they wanted that money. Yeah, it's a funny way of saying money. Like you can tell most of the gaming companies are money hungry assholes. At least that's what I see when I look at the gaming industry.
Alright, I'm starting a new game on my Sims Agents. What should I call it?
The Fockers.
No.
Oh my god, you don't like that one?
No.
That's a really funny play on words though.
I'm quite.
I don't.
Then I must be armed.
I don't want like the bad words.
It's not a bad word. It's the Fockers.
No.
It's really funny though.
Fosters, shut up.
What? It's
I
a
like the Fosters.
it's a movie title, genius. It's a real family's name too, the Fockers.
I don't like it. And it's not a family name, it's a town's name.
No, they found a family that had it when they made the movie Meet the Fockers.
No, in the game, it's supposed to be a town's name, not a last name.
Oh, what?
It's supposed to be a town's name, not a last name.
Oh, well, Colford. Colford'd be cool to call it. It's a cool... I have no idea. Yeah, I just forgot about it. I saw it one day because I want to take a trip there next year. License, but I never really looked into how to spell it after that. Because...
Alright, Colford, HDE, snowman symbol.
What?
It's Colford, HDE, snowman symbol.
Cool. Umbrella. What the hell's the umbrella do?
I don't know, they're just emotions.
It shields the town from getting rained on.
Alright, so should I make my character male or
Female.
female?
Like, that's one thing I like to do with games. I like to pick the alternate gender that I'm not.
Alright, so female. Should I make her black, Mexican, what should I make her?
What is the ethnicity you think you would least like to be the most? Or want to be the most?
I would least like being white.
I feel your pain. I'm white as a ghost. Like underneath my shirt, I am white as a ghost.
I'm gonna make her Hispanic.
Oh my.
I'm not.
That's fine. That's cool.
Looks really inspired.
Alright, there's.
No, she's gonna have red eyes. She's gonna have red eyes.
That is the one thing I really cannot wait to be 18 for. I cannot wait until medical decisions shift to me, so I can start wearing contacts and get red-eyed contacts.
I really wish I could have, red eyes.
Like, the funny thing is, I prefer, I really would love red eyes. Red eyes with blonde hair, I would love that. Like, here's the thing that's funny to me. Since I have 3 older siblings, like, one of them, the one I don't get along with, has a kid, so I want to be that cool uncle that looks really badass whenever he shows up for my other 2 siblings' kids. My brother and sister's kids, so I really want to be that one uncle that looks like a badass. Well,
She's gonna have red hair and she's gonna have red eyes and blue hair.
cool. But like, I can tell you what my outfit is gonna be whenever I go see my nephews and shit when I'm older. It's gonna be a trench coat, a dark trench coat, like a black one, like a cool t-shirt, really roughed up hair that's blonde, and red eyes.
It sounds like you're gonna try to shoot up a school, dude.
Why? It just sounds, it sounds badass because it's like, the trench coat is what makes it badass. The trench coat, that's one of my favorite traits from Supernatural. One of the characters wears it. I love trench coats and hoodies and shit. Those. Oh, you could name her Ruby after the color of eyes. Or you could name her Sapphire after the color of the hair.
I'm not naming her after gem. Okay.
Well, no, Ruby and Sapphire are colors. That just so happen to be gems. I mean, Ruby is a shade of red and Sapphire is a shade of blue.
But they originate from gems. Let's not. Okay. How about
Auburn. What? Like,
I'm naming her Opera.
cool. I feel like I think I really like the name Ruby. Ruby for a girl.
Alright, what should I do, Penguin?
What, it lagged out.
Alright, what should I do my assistant? Should I name him Buttface?
No, name him Gary F. Oak. It's a really funny Pokemon joke that you won't get.
I get Pokemon jokes. Genius.
Yeah, but what does it stand for? Gary F. Oak. Or, yeah, Gary M. F. Oak.
I don't know.
Motherfucking Gary motherfucking Oak. I, yeah, but that joke is hilarious still, to this day. Because he is Gary goddamn Oak. What? That's not nearly as funny as Gary MF Oak.
But it fits because he's annoying.
Gary is annoying.
Not really. I mean, he's doing your brother a whole
Oh my god, genius. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. No, that's Professor Oak. That's Professor Oak, not Gary. Gary is Ash's rival. That's probably one of the funniest fan theories ever.
But it's true.
No, it's not. Because in reality, you're looking too deep into a kid's game.
It's true.
And the funny thing about that would be, your mother is is one of only 2 females in all of Palatown. So yeah, they probably have a lot of kids for Palatown to be a thing. Because what happens when they all die off? No one really thinks of that. So they probably have a lot of kids to send off on a lot of journeys. Alright. So, here's an interesting thing. How do you feel when the media bitches and complains about certain musicians? Have you ever seen the media bitch about certain musicians? Like, how does that make you feel when they do that shit?
Well, I don't know how that makes people musicians that are like popular currently.
Like, no, I mean, for example, they'll bitch about, like, when Michael Jackson died, they bitched about Michael Jackson forever and a day. Like, how terrible he was to the world. Like, how does that make you feel when they trash good musicians? Like, I get pissed off when they cover musicians that don't need the attention. Like One Direction, whenever they would talk about them.
Yeah.
Honestly, the one thing about newer music is boy bands definitely became less good in the last 5 years.
What?
There's a band that I liked that was only together for 2 years, from 2009 to 2011. They were an amazing boy band. But as soon as they broke up, all the shittier boy bands started to come out. Rocket to the Moon was a really good band, but then you got One Direction.
You didn't like Boys? You don't like Backstreet Boys?
I really haven't. Okay, here's the thing. I do not really listen to that style of music that's older like that. Wasn't that Wasn't that like the 60s and 70s, the Backstreet Boys?
That's not 60s and 70s.
No, I have.
Like early 2000s.
Yeah, no way in hell, because the music I prefer from that time period were part of the emo boom. Like, so I've mostly focused on that style of music from the early 2000s, and then later up and then as soon as you hit 2008, because 2009 to 2010, I focus more on pop. Why? That's literally the best music that's come out, best style of music that's come out since 2010. Pop.
Bad guy.
What?
Found a bad guy.
Okay. What is your opinion on? Okay, have you seen a lot of the Disney stars lately? Like newer ones? Do you feel they're as good as the older Disney stars? Like Emily Osment? No, you think they're worse?
Yeah.
Like, I miss Emily Osment and Mitchell Musso. They were cool when they were acting for Disney. Like one of my like that little
kid Rico. He was hilarious.
Oh my God, yeah. Although Jackson's still around, the guy who plays him, he still works for Disney.
Yeah.
And he's actually really funny. Yeah, I loved that show. Like, the theme song was always really funny. It was always really funny to me. Okay, you want to hear something very awkwardly hilarious that happened to me when I was younger? Okay, I used to be really big into Dragon Ball and kicking it and stuff. So anyway, I was like 8 or 9 years old when I did this. We went to my mom's friend's house in another state, so we drove 9 hours. An episode of Dragon Ball came on, and I started awkwardly singing the song. And like actually belting that shit out, so I was the only idiot doing it in the whole living room. And like everybody was looking at me, and I'm like, fuck, I just fucked it up. I just fucked up and just did that, fuck. And kicking it, I managed to like piss somebody off by accidentally singing it in front of them, the theme song. So I was like, fuck. And that was only like a year or two later.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited. So, Tsunami is going to be doing American dubs of One Punch Man, and I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah, nah. I've seen them like talk about it, but I'm probably not gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. Don't spoil anything.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen One Punch Man. I'm probably gonna read the manga. Like, screw the anime because the anime is much farther behind. I'm probably gonna read the manga. Well, the anime only adapted to a certain point, so you're gonna be behind no matter what. Have fun with by the time the next season comes out, going on Instagram or Twitter or something, and seeing all the spoilers for Season 2. Like, didn't think of that, did ya? If you read the manga, that way you're caught up. You don't have to deal with that crap, and you can watch the anime without really needing. And plus, you realize One Punch Man is literally just a guy who one-punches things. It's not serious, it's not cool, it's just a guy who one-punches crap. And it's satire, but I don't see it as satire, I just see it as a stupid concept. Let's take a medium that mostly tells serious stories and make it into satire. You can't satire 15-year-old action comics without really fucking the formula up. So it's like you're honestly kind of fucking yourself by trying to do that. But like realistically, there's not that many points to One Punch Man. And I've seen the anime explode over it, and I'm just like, it's 12 episodes of a guy one-punching things.
That's because it looks cool, and it's just, I don't know.
And it's just like, you really are going to tell me that that's interesting. 12 episodes of a guy one-punching crap. oh, this big burly dude walks up to you. Instead of having this cool epic fight with him, one punch, you're dead. Oh my god, Robbie gets so pissed when I do that. Because I'll be like, one punch man, or one punch man, something like that. And he gets so fucking pissed. Alright, there's an anime that I'm really hyped for Toonami that I have to get into watching. Hunter x Hunter. I really, really want to watch that. Like, oh, by the way, do you like spiritual, like, more actiony stuff? Because I found a show I think you'd like that's on Netflix, that's anime based. It's really cool, Blue Exorcist. I think you'd really like it. Because it basically takes the whole idea of pretty much everything you can think of and makes it into a story about exorcists.
To be honest.
Field report.
Dimensional insertion
point.
Alright, well, we can end the stream now, I guess. Alright, you want to do the sign off then? Alright, this is Bleach King Productions, and whenever you want to say. Signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream.
Bye.
Alright. What do you have to go for?
Yeah, what do you need for?
What happened?
Okay, he wants me to go to bed. We're doing something tomorrow, apparently.
Alright, we'll talk to you later. God damn, this is hard to shut off the stream. Alright, well, it's done now, it should be. Should be in a second.